What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and I'm here today with the review for Life After Lockup or Love After Lockup, Season 3, Episode 11, titled Up in Old Flames. You guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump into this episode review, shall we? All right, you guys, so the first couple that we're going to start up with is Andrea and Lamar. I gotta say, when it comes to Andrea, she literally grates my nerves. She's annoying as hell. I just don't understand how Lamar can stay married to that woman. It must really be love. So she's once again on this whole tip about Priscilla getting baptized, covering her in the blood. I get that part, but she's unrealistic with a lot of shit that she's talking about. And I don't understand for the life of me how she's a Mormon when the Mormon faith hasn't always been ideal about black people. So how do you join a religious belief, a faith that hasn't always been conducive to your people? I feel like Andrea's one of them self-hating black people. Like, the Mormon faith had not featured us until I think the 60s or somewhere around that time. I don't know. Don't really care, to be quite honest with you, because I don't care about Mormonism. No shade to anybody who is a Mormon. It's just not It's just not for me. If it ain't Baptist, if it ain't Church of God in Christ, Catholicism, stuff like that, that people, they accept us. Even Judaism, but the Mormon faith, keep it. It ain't for me. So then we do see Andrea and Lamar and the kids. They're having, I guess, a barbecue. I don't necessarily know what they were having. So Tennyson tells Andrea about his day and how Dulo offered him to smoke a blunt, but he said no. Andrea flips the hell out, and she's I'm like, wow, where'd that Mormon faith go when she was just dropping all them F-bombs? Even Priscilla said, Mom, can't stop saying the F word. And she's talking about, see, this is why I want to go back to Utah, because my kids are being tempted out here. And I'm thinking to myself, so there's absolutely no weed in Utah. There's no weed in Utah. There's no crime in Utah. So Utah is just the holy Mecca, basically. Utah is just heaven on earth. Like, nothing goes on in Utah. Like, Andrea really irks. Like I said, she grates my spirit. It's just something about that woman. I just can't stand her. Like, I just don't understand it. Here's the next thing that I had a question about. Now, I know my apartment ain't in the best of conditions, but I do keep it clean. I don't understand why that apartment that they live in had so much shit in it. I mean, that apartment just was cluttered with a lot of stuff. I'm just like, wow. If I'm on a TV show and I have a film crew, I'm gonna make sure that my house looks at least somewhat decent. When you have company come over, clean up your house. That's number one. But yeah, and when it comes down to Andrea, she lacks some. I don't know what she lacks. I know she lacks common sense, for one. That's one thing she lacks, because those kids have more sense than she does. The kids have a lot more sense than her, because she got mad at Nala because Tennyson told her what happened. Andrea, it's almost as if you forgot that you are the one that got knocked up in a broom closet by a prisoner. Does your Mormon faith agree with that? Like, please let me know that. Does your Mormon faith agree with that one? If it doesn't, you're a hypocrite through and through. Let's move on. All right, you guys, next, let's get this story out the way. It was actually really sad to watch this one. Brittany. So you guys remember last week's episode, Brittany and Marcelina, they went out on that date, and they came back home to find out that Brittany's mom had left and called her sister over. She took her sister's debit card and drained her account. Credit card, debit card, whichever one, drained her account, and they went looking for her mom. I get where Brittany's coming from. She's upset. She's frustrated because, she's trying to help her mom. And even she said when she was in jail the first time, that her mom never wrote her, but when she got out of jail, she wanted to help her mother. And then, she said her dad, he eventually got tired of this shit and washed his hands with the mama. And I feel like that's what's going to have to happen with Brittany. Them is you guys are going to have to stop, because I'm not going to say that they're enabling her. You guys are just going to have to stop coddling her, basically. Let her, let her get so immersed in this drug addiction that, she has to hit rock bottom. I just feel like that's what it's going to have to come down to. The mama is going to actually have to hit rock bottom in order to realize this drug addiction is taking over my life. I have nothing. I have no one to turn to. So I might as well go ahead and get myself clean. I mean, you would hate for that to happen, but I feel like that's what needs to happen in this situation with the mother, that she has to hit rock bottom in order to get her life together. So then we do see Brittany and her sister, so they go to the apartment. The mama is there, and when I saw her, the first thing I noticed was her nose. I'm like, oh my God, like, what happened to her nose? Like, did she hit her face or something? But, I mean, it was a big bruise. She said she had a pimple on her nose that she asked her daughter to, bust for, but, ma'am, I've had pimples plenty of times on my face. And each and every time I bust a pimple, yes, they leave a little bit of a scar, but I ain't never seen no pimple that big in my life. I've never saw a pimple that big. You was on the table snorting something and you probably hit your nose. That's what I feel. And I mean, even when you looked at the mama, she looked strung out. I'm like, God, I really do feel bad for people who get on drugs, and the drugs control their lives so much that they don't know how to get off of them. And I feel like that's what it is with her mom. She can get clean, but eventually she's going to get that itch to want to go and do drugs. I do wish the best for her mother, and I hope that she gets the help that she needs and says goodbye to those whatever drugs she's on. I don't know what she's on, but I mean, obviously she's on something that she's sniffing. I'm assuming, because did you guys see that big ass gash on her nose? Like, that was huge as fuck. That was not a fucking pimple. That was not a pimple. I'm sorry, ma'am. That was not a pimple. But let's move on. All right, you guys, next let's discuss Sarah and Michael. So you guys remember Sarah in last week's episode, she was talking to her therapist about Michael. So, she went outside, she's upset, she's going off. She calls Malcolm with that black scent, going off about Michael. The one thing I will say is I do understand Sarah's frustration to an extent. I get it. She is the sole parent that takes care of these girls. I get that. That's not something that's ideal. You didn't lay down with yourself and have 2 kids. But I can't 100% be on Sarah's side. I can't even be 50% on Sarah's side. I'm going to give Sarah 25. Nope. I'm going to give her 20%. Nope. We're going to go down lower than that. I'm going to give her 10%. I'm going to give her 10%. Nope. We're going to go lower than that. I'm going to give her 5%. 5% is all that I can give Sarah. And you might be asking, well, why are you giving her 5%? 5% is because she didn't get pregnant by herself. That's the only thing that I got to give her. She did not get pregnant by herself. But she did choose to lay down with Michael a second time, knowing full well who Michael was, and that even when he got out of jail the first time, he still didn't do shit for the oldest child that you guys got. He went back to jail again, and then you got pregnant. Like, I don't feel bad for Sarah for that. I do feel bad for her because she didn't lay down with herself and get herself pregnant. That I do feel bad for, because here she is taking on the responsibility of 2 children that she and Michael helped create. And here he is freely going around from state to state with different women, not working, GoFundMe, getting Cash App, Zelle, whatever he's getting from these women, and not even helping with his daughters that he has with Sarah. So I do feel bad for Sarah in that instance. But as far as her laying down with Michael for a second time and having a second baby with him, I can't feel anything for you, because like I said, Michael showed you who he was the first time. Like my grandmother always say, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. He showed you he wasn't shit. You should have took it at face value and believed him at that point. But you didn't. Again, I don't know why you lay down with him a second time. I guess the dick must be that good. But so that's why I give Sarah 5. I'm gonna give Sarah 5% of some sympathy. But the other 90%, I don't feel shit. 90, you guys get it. Well, nope. I gave her 5%. Maybe I should have went lower than that. Maybe I should go lower than 100. Maybe I should go lower than 5. I'm gonna be nice and just say 5%. Just say 5%. 5% is what she gets from me. She gets 5% from me. Yeah, she gets 5%. 95, 5. She'll get 5% from me. That's it. I was gonna say 1%, but I'm gonna be nice and give her 5%. But back to Sarah. I don't know why she was going off on. I guess she just wanted somebody to vent to when she was talking to Malcolm. But when she told that therapist, "You come back in here," that therapist was a lot better than me because I know that woman was getting paid. Maybe she. I would have told her, "Little girl, who you talking to?" So we see it's the day of the baby's party, and Malcolm is there, and so is Sarah's girlfriend, Emmy. Now they're talking about Michael, the fact that Michael was supposed to come a few days earlier, and she hasn't heard from him. He hasn't called her, nothing like that. Again, I understand that frustration. I get it. So out of the blue, who calls her? Michael. I'm like, he's calling y'all because y'all are filming this damn show. Like, y'all ain't fooling me. Y'all filming. He knew y'all was filming. And he called you. Because if you guys notice, the party, because she was telling him the party starts in 4 minutes. She said she'll text him the address. They went to commercial break. Come back from a commercial break. Malcolm is meeting her family. Michael is outside of the venue. Really? Like, y'all really think I'm that stupid? But I'm gonna roll with it. I'm gonna roll with the punches. Y'all playing that one. That one was a little bit planned. So Sarah goes outside to talk to Michael, and that Black Santa's out once again. I get where Sarah's coming from. She don't want to, Michael to feel ambushed. Well, not ambushed. She don't want Michael to be caught off guard coming into the party and seeing her boyfriend there. I got that part. All you have to do is say, "Hey, Michael, I'm dating this guy. He's here. When we go into this party, like, please don't say nothing to him. If you can speak to him, but don't have any kind of, if you want some bullshit, Michael, I'm gonna ask you to leave. And if I see that, I'm gonna ask you nicely to get the fuck out. And if you don't want to get the fuck out, I'm gonna have my people escort you out, or I'm gonna call the police. Maybe not call the police. I'm gonna ask my people to just get you up out of there. But out of respect for me and out of respect for our child, yes, my boyfriend is here. But what I don't want you to do is just cause a scene." That's all she had to say. But I feel like Sarah wanted drama in that instance because Michael said he ain't finna meet no nigga that she just met. "Oh, I just met him. Yo, Michael." I'm like, Sarah, you at this point, I really do feel like you live for the drama because like I said, you could have spun that a different way, like how I spun it. "Hey, Michael, I'm glad you're here. Before we go into the party, there is something that I definitely need to tell you. I was hoping you would come here. I was hoping you would get here earlier so that I can introduce you to someone. So I'm gonna put this out here on the table for you. I got a new boyfriend. I want you to meet him. I wanted you to meet him. Now, when we go in the party, Michael, can you be a civilized person? Can you be an adult? Like, this is for the kid. This is for the kids, not a time for me, you, him, or anybody to get into it. So let's go into the party. If you don't want to speak to him, that's fine. But if you do want to speak to him, say hi, what's up, and leave it at that. Let's not have any drama at this party. Again, this is for the kids. Now, if you can't be, drama free today, I'm going to nicely ask you just to hop back in your car and go back wherever you came from. Like, me and the kids can meet you later if that's what you want. But if you can't be drama free, I don't need you in here. This is a kids' party. We don't need the bullshit. That's how she could have kept it. Let's move on. Lacey, Shane, and no. Lacey and Shane. So we see Lacey. She has been up since 3 in the morning, and it's the big day for them. They're going to go get their embryos put in. And I'm really happy for Shane and Lacey, I will say that. So, we find out that due to COVID, Shane is not able to go in with me, but I will be videoing them as they implant the embryos in me. We've spent $25,000. I can only afford to do this only so many times, which I definitely get that. That part I do understand. The $25,000, I did not know that it was that much money to do IVF. Like, shit. I see now why people be so I know it's emotional when the embryos don't take, because that's a failed process, and then also that's money lost. So I do understand, some of the frustration behind that now. It makes a lot more sense. I did not know that it was that costly. So Lacey, like I said, she was getting the embryos implanted in her. She went ahead and got 2 embryos implanted in her. I don't know why she did that, but hey, that is a good question. With COVID, why did you get 2 embryos implanted in you, Lacey? Just do 1. Be safe, because if you have twins, that's 2 mouths to feed. 2 mouths to feed. Double the clothes. Double the diapers. Ooh. Yeah, I would have just done 1, but congratulations if you have twins. I don't know I don't keep up with Lacey and Shane like that outside of the show. I actually don't keep up with any of them outside of the show, to be quite honest with you. So we see Shane later in the episode. He's with the kids. I will say that Shane is actually really good with Lacey's kids. That is something that I will say. The one that I still say is Shane is just very young. I think he's been it's nothing against Lacey and it's nothing against Shane. This is nothing personal. I don't want people to think that I joke about Lacey and Shane, but this is me being serious at this point. Shane had been in prison for so long. I get that he's come out and he's been, a great father figure to her kids, and they want to have a child of their own. But I think, and I get that Lacey I think she's my age. I think she's 30, 31. She's not old, but she's not young either. So I know that when she gets to a certain point, she would have what is it called, a geriatric pregnancy. So I do know that she would get to that point. But I feel like, with Lacey and Shane, I feel like maybe they should have done, frozen some embryos and, lived their lives first. Because like I said, Shane has been in prison since he was a teenager, and he's now 22. So I feel like Shane needs to just kind of live his life. Both of them you live your lives, have fun, although you got, your 3 other kids, but still have fun before you decide to add another child to the mix, at least. But they are pregnant, so congratulations are in order to them. But I just feel like Shane is just, like I said, he seems like a good father figure to her kids. I just kind of wish they maybe had waited a little bit. But once again, like I said, congratulations definitely go out to Lacey and Shane. So let's move on. Let's finish this episode up with Angela and Tony. I'm gonna get the voice in just a minute. All right, so Tommy comes over. I'm like, ooh, blast from the past. He brings a gift for Angela. It was actually, I guess it was supposed to be a wedding gift for her and Tony, but since there's no Tony, it's just for Angela. I'm like, he's bringing a wedding gift, and He trying to slide his ass right on in since Tony is out of the picture at this point. So, he asked her how she's feeling, and she tells him while smoking her cigarette that, I'm just lonely, Tommy. I'm needing someone in my life. Did I ever tell you about Ross? He asked, who is Ross? Ross is someone that I was talking to before I got with Tony. Ross and I stopped talking, and then I got with Tony. Got it? He says, and you don't have to worry about Ross. Ross is a good dude. I'm like, okay, Angela, if you say so. Tommy did make a good point that I was thinking to myself last week when she started talking about Ross. So you've been talking to Ross this entire time. So that's not cheating? So you weren't cheating on Tony the same way Tony was cheating on you? She said no. I'm like, Angela. She said because they didn't have sex. I'm like, Angela, sis, you don't necessarily have to have sex with a person to cheat on another person. An emotional relationship is still cheating. An emotional affair, is the same thing as a sexual affair. You're getting affection from someone else, even if it's in the mind, the heart, or the vagina, or the penis, whichever one you choose. It's still an affair. But okay, Angela, I'm gonna let your hypocritical ass have that. Oh God. Then Angela, she told him I'm gonna have with me and Ross, we're gonna have a video date. So I'm like, okay, video date. Lord, when Angela did that video date with Ross with that blue dress on, Angela's sitting on that bed, Indian style. I'm like, Angela, I'm just gonna need you to close your legs because I don't need that to be on my TV screen. And then I'm gonna talk about this first. And then, she laid back after that video call with Ross and the camera panned out. I'm like, come on, did I really need to see Angela's cellulite thigh? No. But Angela, she's all giddy on the phone with Ross. She's asking him, do you like my hair like this? It's all curly. I was reading your letters from prison. He said, you still have them? Yes, I still have your letters from prison. I burned Tony's, however. That hurts. I'm just dying to see you. I'm really dying to see you, Ross. Ross says, I find that funny because every time I've asked you to come out here, you wouldn't come out here. Oh, that was because of Tony. When Tony and I were together, I didn't want to do it. But Tony and I are not together. He says, prove it. She says, well, I'm not wearing the ring anymore. He says, that really doesn't prove anything to me. Come out here. Ross, I really have tried to come out there, but, I just get so emotional because she starts talking about their relationship. I sent Ross a book. It had photos of us in it. Then it got to something that he thought was very vulgar. And, I called him and he went off. And he admitted that and he said that was his fault. So, and she also tells him that, she and Tony have broke things off. I was looking at Angela. So I'm done with my notes. I was actually really, really looking hard at Angela in this episode. Angela is not an ugly woman. I want to preface that. She's not ugly. It's, I don't know why I did that deep sigh. Angela's not an ugly woman by no means. I think the issue with Angela is her grill. If she would fix that tooth, that would help her go. That would go a long way too. Just get some veneers. That would go a long way. And then if she would do if she just got a little Botox or something, the feeling just is what it is all the lines in her face. It's all the lines in Angela's face. That's what it is, because the lines make Angela look much older than what I think. I don't think she's that old. Well, I know that they say she's 49, but I beg to differ. Angela is not 49 years old. Angela's at least in her 50s or 60s. At least. Angela in her late 50s, early 60s. Ain't no motherfucking way she in her 40s. Y'all just a bullshit lie. But yeah, if Angela would do something with her teeth and just, you know, a little Botox, a little fillers in her lines, because she wouldn't look bad. Because she actually, what I will say is though, when she does her makeup, she actually looks like she's She actually, I'm not being funny when I say this, but when she does her makeup and they have those lights on her, she actually looks like she's melting. No shade, no tea, but she really does look like she's melting. So if Angela would just do something about them teeth and them lines on her face, I know as we get older we have lines in our face, but girl, yours are prominent. But you guys, that is gonna wrap it up for this episode review of Life After Lockup. Be sure to like this video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification button so you guys are aware of when I drop anything else. Also, share this video with you guys, and until the next one, do me a solid favor out there, stay safe, take care of yourselves, stay hydrated, depending on the weather in your area, stay cool or warm, and into the next one, you guys. I will see you later. Bye.